So first of all, so that you know, everybody in this business is not rich. Okay, let me just let you know that there's some people in this business right now, writers and crew and background people that don't make enough money to pay their fucking rent. You need to understand that writers don't get paid when they're not writing. Millionaire fucking corporations is making millions off of motherfuckers that's doing the work for them. And all they're asking for is their fair share.
I personally can negotiate for, but I'm here for the working class, middle class part of our union, who needs these basic provisions in the basic contract,
86% of the union's 160,000 make less than that 26.5. You told NBC that you all are prepared for this to go for 6 months.
At least.
But if they don't make, if 86% of the members make less than 26.5, how can they last for 6 months?
Bargaining, this is the only thing we have left to fight against people who are extremely powerful. Stop stealing money from us, because that's what's happening.
If you really want to see what greed looks like, take a look at Hollywood. These execs, these streaming services and studios, they planned for these actors and especially these writers to lose their homes. Yes, they released a statement back in May 2023 when all of this started. They released a statement that they would start negotiating with the writers when the writers started losing their homes, when the writers couldn't feed their kids, when the writers were so strapped for cash, they would agree to the studio's demands. Allegedly, that is what they told Dateline. And it was an article release, and they were applauded, baby. They were applauded by Wall Street. And I thought to myself, this is wild. How could a studio, a streaming service, not want to pay the people, the individuals that made them billions, not millions, but billions? Last year alone, Netflix raked in $31.6 billion. It would have been nothing for them to pay these writers just a little bit more. And let's not even get started on Apple. We know Apple's pockets run deep. $1 billion deep. They could have easily helped out. And the crazy part is these writers were simply asking for a living wage. They weren't even asking for the whole kahuna. They were asking for enough to pay bills, because in order to be a writer, I have to live in Hollywood. I have to be accessible to have this career. I have to be in certain locations. I cannot pay my bills on this. And the wild part to me is that the studios knew they were underpaying the writers. If you can release a statement that said, we are not going to negotiate until they start losing their homes, which should be in the fall, about September, October-ish. So you knew that these people didn't even have 6 to 12 months of income saved up so that they can pay their bills and protest. They don't have a leg to stand on, and you knew it. These writers don't make what Shonda Rhimes made. She bought billions and she was making billions, and luckily Netflix did pay her her due. She signed a 9-figure deal with Netflix, but that was it. They paid the cream of the crop. The little guys didn't get paid as much. Now here we are where Billy Porter and a lot of other actors and writers are stating to companies, they are releasing reports that, yo, we are losing our homes. We can't get our kids back to school. We can't feed our families. And now that reports have been released, look who is willing to negotiate. Just recently, they submitted a counteroffer to the writers and the actors. Like, hey, we heard your demands. Here's our counteroffer. Now, that counteroffer was crap. They knew it. Your first offer is never your best offer. But they also paused negotiations. So if you don't believe that these companies, these streaming companies are greedy, baby, take a look.